Okay, so now that 2020 is over, I can pretty much go over who my favorite artists were, and yeah, I'm gonna be telling you that. I haven't done YouTube in a while. The last time I actually made a video was like, what, May, June? So, yeah, I'm back. Alright, let's start off with some honorable mentions. First off, we have DaBaby. Now, he just didn't drop this year. Like, he had one good song, and it was Rockstar, but I didn't really like it that much. Next up, we have Roddy Ricch. Once again, these dudes were like top 5 on my list last year, and now they're not because they didn't drop. I mean, Please Excuse Me for being Antisocial is like one of the best albums I've heard in a while. Okay, next up we have Kanye, which please do not flame me. I didn't start listening to him until about December 15th. So he didn't really like get big in my mind. Okay, so next is 25, and I put Snot. Snot, one of the most underrated, if not the most underrated rapper in the system right now. That man's music is so good. And my favorite song by him is Mean. Now, don't get me wrong, I like Revenge, but it's not as good, you know? Next up, we have King Von, which I only liked one of his songs, and he didn't blow up until he was dead, so yeah, he wasn't really that big on my list. Next up, we have Young Thug. Now, the only reason this man is on the list is because he is in about every single song ever. Like, that man is on every single verse in every single song, especially with Gunna. Next up is Nav, which he's pretty underrated too. I liked his Emergency Tsunami album. Next up is Gunna. I mean, Gunna wasn't top 25 on my list last year, which I didn't really listen to rap last year, so I'm kind of new to the whole system. Next up is Post Malone. Now, Post Malone's been my boy since like 2017, because, you know, I'm white. And next up, Playboi Carti. Now, this man sold me so hard this year with Whole Lotta Red. Now, some of y'all are switching up now. Y'all are like, man, this album is fire. No, it was not fire. It was terrible. I did like the Kid Cudi song though. Speaking of rappers, we got Drake. Now, Drake's like the ultimate white boy thing. Like, he's on the radio every song he makes. Yeah, my favorite song by him, I know it's not that known, but it's Get It Together. That song, whew, it's heat. Alright, next up is Kid Cudi. I was talking about him earlier, and yeah, he's not very well known, but he's well known. Like, you know what I mean? And my favorite song by him is The Pursuit of Happiness. Now, the new album that he came out with, I haven't really listened to yet, because I haven't had time. So, I might do that tomorrow, maybe. Next up is Don Toliver. Now, this man, TikTok kind of ruined him with After Party. No, I like the After Party. And I got it from TikTok. I got Don Toliver from TikTok pretty much. And I listened to Heaven or Hell, and that stuff was heat. And my favorite song by him is After Party. I do like that song. Next up is Kendrick Lamar. Now, the only reason I got into Kendrick Lamar is because of my dad, surprisingly. And I didn't really, I listened to him a little bit in November, and then I like started to go deep into it. But my favorite song is most definitely Swimming Pools. Stuff is fire. Oh, this is so bad. Next up is Frank Ocean. Now, I don't care if that man is gay. People get hated on him because he's gay, but like, that man makes some pretty bad music. Like, I don't care. As long as it has a good tone to my ears, I don't care about the rest. Next up, YNW Melly. Now, I know there's... The only music I used to listen to is like the stuff that was very popular. I was a mainstream dude last year, and like, I started deep diving into artists like June or July. And yeah, Melly has some pretty good songs. People only know him because I'm not on my mind. But like, have y'all listened to Mind on My Murder, dude? Stuff is fire. Next up, Lil TJ. Now, his fan base is horrible. His fan base is terrible. Like, they don't even cheer him on. Nobody ever really listens to his music anymore. When Pop Out came out, that was like his rise of fame, you know? Okay, now we're gonna get into top 10. So, for number 10, it's Trippie Redd. Now, I understand he only has like 7 good songs, but Pegasus was an L. That stuff was garbage. But yeah, it is kind of true. He only has like 7 good songs, like Hate Me, Excitement. I can name a lot more, but I'm not going to. Next up is Polo G. Now, he rose up this year. I didn't really know who he was. Well, I did know who he was because of Pop Out last year. But now, ever since he dropped the GOAT, he's been on top. It was him and Lil Baby. And speaking of Lil Baby, at number 8, it's Lil Baby. Now, I don't know when it came out, but like, the only 4 songs on my playlist were Whoa by him, Baby by him and the Baby. Pretty sure that was a Tekka song, and 100 Racks before it got popular on TikTok. And I just really like him. I like his flow and music. Next up, we have 21 Savage. Now, I didn't know who the heck this man was. Like, I listened to one of his songs in 5th grade, and it was Bank Account, and it was off of Musical.ly. And now, when he dropped Savage Mode, I did enjoy that. That was pretty nice to my ears. Next up, let's see here, who's next up? Next up is Lil Yachty. Now, I knew him, once again, from 2016 when he dropped I Spy. That stuff was, on another level. Him and Kyle, every time him and Kyle make a song, it's a banger. Like Hey Julie, that was like, what, last year? Yeah. But when he dropped Lil Boat 3.5, that stuff was, it was music to my ears. It was very good. And I found out that you could add albums to your playlist, and every single one of those songs are on my playlist. But my favorite song from his album is probably Flex Up or Lemonhead. I really like Lemonhead. Alright, let's see who's next. Next up is Pop Smoke, which, I'm gonna be honest here, I didn't know who the heck that man was at first. When he died in March, I was like, Who is he? And then about May, this song started to become popular, and I was like, well, let me dive deep in. Hey, that sounded kind of weird. Lie. And yeah, I actually kind of like his music. My favorite song by him is most definitely Gotti with the Jack Boys. And speaking of Jack Boys, at number 4 we have Travis Scott. Now, surprisingly, I didn't start listening to Travis Scott until like maybe November. Yeah, November. Cause I listened to Astro World, and I listened to 90210. I think that's how you say it. Yeah. And I was like, dang, this is kind of heat. But I get hated for liking Travis Scott. Like, he's actually good. And then I got my dad into Travis Scott. Alright, next up, I'm gonna like spend 2 minutes talking about them. Next up is my top 3. And at number 3, it's Lil Uzi Vert. Okay, so back in 2017 when XO Tour Life came out and Love Is Rage 2 came out, I didn't even know who he was. I just knew his song. And I still didn't know who he was until March 13th, 2020. That's when he dropped Eternal Take. And I still didn't know about it. And then I looked on YouTube, and I looked on the trending page, and I was on there, and I was like, well, let me listen to it. And I listened to it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is heat. And yeah, Uzi's been one of my top three this year. I didn't really go deep down. I listened to like a few of his songs in June, and I'll play them like non-stop until I finally memorized. Like, I memorized the whole album. Like, that was the only album that I fully listened to before like I actually started listening to him. And yeah, next up, number 2. You can probably guess who he is since I'm white. It's Juice WRLD. Now, once again, I think Lucid Dreams came out 2018. Yeah. When Lucid Dreams came out, and I heard it on the radio, that was like the first time I ever felt something out of a song. I know that sounds a little weird, but like, I was kind of hooked, you know. And then this year, that was when I really discovered rap. And I was going back and I listened to Goodbye. I listened to all of his albums before he died. And then after he died, I was like, oh no, people are gonna start like loving him because he was dead. So I made sure that I listened to him. And yeah, he's one of my favorites. Now, my favorite rapper of this year, well, he's not even a rapper really, but like, this man, it's just, I love him. His name is The Kid LAROI. This kid has so much potential. So much potential. His music, it's just very good. Now, I started listening to him. The first song I heard was Go, of course. And then one day on TikTok, it said like, you need to listen to this guy now. And it was Kid LAROI. And first song I listened to was Without You. It was on the way to Disney World, November 7th. And I listened to it. And it was exactly like listening to Lucid Dreams. Like, it was where I felt like real emotion. And ever since then, I love his music. Alright, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. It probably won't post until tomorrow. So, yeah. Hope y'all have a good year. Alright, I'll see y'all later.